Hey everybody, welcome to episode 59 of the Fiberista Files. Today is Wednesday, December 21st. Happy almost solstice. Solstice, I think I read, happens at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so in another few hours, 4.5 hours, it'll be solstice. That's pretty exciting. That means that this night is the longest night, and after that, the nights get shorter. I'm really ready for that. Let's see. Hi, how are you? I am show note free today. That ought to be interesting. I'm a little bit fragmented. We'll see how it goes. Let's start with week in review. This week was a pretty good week. I said a lot, but generally they are. My husband came down this weekend here to the apartment, and so I was able to get some work done. We did some baking, so we went and got groceries, and we did all the holiday baking and stuff down here, which is kind of nice because all of our cupboards up home, our countertops are 2 inches below standard, so he and I both have to bend over, and it makes your back hurt, something awful. But these counters are nice and high, so it's really nice. And I have a new stove that I don't have to watch the way that it cooks and all that, so it was good. I made pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, apple bread, peanut butter balls, Needhams, and cookie brownie bars, which is a layer of cookie and then a layer of brownies. They're like stacked on each other. It's pretty delicious. Didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but I did get some pots done Sunday, and then I've continued pretty much through the week. I'm drinking mint hot cocoa today that does not smell like pipe tobacco. We had company this weekend. First time I've had official company in my apartment. Katie, Knit Girl, not Nick, why did I say Knit Girl? Katie, Jet Girl 1313 of the Knitting on the Fly podcast came up with her honey. They were driving around, and so they came over and hung out with us. We did not record a podcast, I'm sorry, but I have one big room here, and with the boys here, it was kind of difficult. So, plus she and I had both recorded just a couple days prior to that. So, she knows where I live now, and it's really not that far from either her place or her honey's place. I'm about equidistant, so I expect to see more from Katie. Do you hear that, Katie? I expect to see you more. So yeah, so that'll be good. What else went on this week? I got my swap package from the Mommy Needs Yarn Swap. This is my first official swap, I think. If you don't count Amelia Bella and Fiber Nymph and I trading the fibers that we did for the Trifecta Club. Other than that, like I really haven't ever done a swap, so why not? My swap partner was, I can't remember her Rav name. Knitter by Nature. Whew, got that. And she totally spoiled me rotten. I don't have everything here, but I received a really nice card from her, a Christmas holiday card, and then I received this beautiful tin, which would be lovely by itself. It's got poinsettias and holly on it and stuff. But inside, Lindor chocolates. These are, you see that this is still full. I have not had one yet. This is my goal for making it through this week. They will be mine. Oh yes, they will be mine. She gave me a hand knit washcloth for my face, not a dishcloth, but much prettier and higher end than that. It was a beautiful rectangular washcloth, and that's already in the bathroom. I feel kind of spoiled every time I use it, but I love it. And then, best thing ever, she sent me a monster. Look at him. Look at how cute he is. I'm gonna have to look in the Rebecca Danger patterns and see which monster this is because she didn't write his name and I don't know, but she did the most amazing job on this guy. He's got perfect little hands and little feet, and I just love him. He just sits perfectly well on things. He's got the little belly button, which I just love, and the little felt, and his eyes, and these big green eyes. How's it going? What's up? And look at this little, I just love him. I love him. I keep putting him all over my apartment in various places to hang out, you know, for a little while. Right now he's chilling on the corner of my desk. I love him dearly. So, Knitter by Nature, thank you so much for my package. I am totally spoiled, rotten, and I appreciate that. So, that was great. That's pretty much been my week. We still have school this week. I have school until the end of the day, Friday at 2:45. And I get the week in between Christmas and New Year's off, and then I go back 7:30 in the morning on January 2nd. So we only have 1 week vacation, which is really stinky. But that's what happens when the holidays fall on a Sunday. Every 6 years or so, this happens. Next year, Christmas will fall on a Tuesday because it's a leap year, and so we'll get about the most time off that you can. So that will be fantastic. But that's next year. So I'm going home to the mountains on Friday, and I'm going to be home for 10 glorious days. I'm going to be home, not here, for 10 glorious days. No school, no apartment, no nothing. It will be the most time I've been home since August. So 4 months. I can't wait. I'm really excited to just knit and sleep and hang out with my cats and do a whole bunch of nothing. Watch the news. I didn't know that Kim Jong-il died. I missed that. Found out today. I was like, oh, hey, let's, look at the MSNBC or CNN or something. And I was like, oh, what do you mean he's laying in state? What? Totally missed it. No idea what's going on in the world anymore. I have no idea because I don't have TV down here. So I watch some episodes of shows on Hulu, but that's about it. That's not the news. So anyway, moving on. Knitting. This much knitting got accomplished this week. I did not work on any current projects, but I did begin let me say it right this time, the French press knits slippers. This is going to be felted, so don't freak out, but this is the foot of one, and it's all, of course, curly. And then, so this is the bottom part, goes underneath. And then this is the foot of the other side. It's just basically reversed, that instead of like knit two together, you purl two together, so you're like one row off of what you would be. Not even one row off, you just reverse the directions, which is pretty cool. And these are knit on US size 15 needles. I have no idea what the equivalent is in millimeters, but a bunch of millimeters for sure, because they're gigantic. My mom gave me these years ago. I think these were hers from like the 70s or something. They're pretty old school. I like these. I probably honestly won't get any more knit on this before I go home. I gave up the ghost on my Christmas knitting list. It's not going to happen. So it's just a matter of getting this banged out hopefully the week after Christmas when I'm home and not doing anything, so that they can go in the mail hopefully by New Year's. I needed the washing machine up home to do the felting anyway because I don't have a washing machine here. So either way, it wasn't going to be done before Christmas, so I guess I'll just deal. But that's about all the knitting. There has, however, been spinning. I know! I never spin anymore. But this is actually, I'm spinning for a gift for a lady at work who I had shown my site to, and she fell in love with roses in high definition, but she's not a spinner. She's a crocheter, but she doesn't spin. So I told her that I would take it out of my shop inventory and I would spin it up for her. So, just a second. Get that out of the way. This is the Roses in High Definition colorway singles. This is 4 ounces of superwash merino. This is the first time I have ever been able to get 4 ounces of a fiber on a bobbin. Changing my wheel from double drive to single drive made this happen. So impressed. Now this looks like a whole lot of yellow and orange, and it is, but it's because the last color that I did, I had a really long repeat, but you can see that there's totally hot pink under there as well. But this is 4 ounces, and I'm going to start applying it tonight while I wait for Blip to do its thing and Handbrake and all that stuff. This needs to be gifted on Friday because the lady who this is going to is one of my ed techs, and she is leaving. She's taking a new job as of the beginning of the year, so she's done as of Friday. So I have to get that done to her because I don't know when I'll see her again. I also, while I'm waiting for Blip and all that other stuff, planning on finishing that Southdown post, because remember I said I was going to do that big fiber study and I was going to do one every 2 weeks and then one in 3 months. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to that. This has definitely renewed my mojo for spinning, so I'm hoping to make time for that more often now. Instead of just staring at the TV, maybe, or the computer, maybe I can actually spin while I do it. So that's the hope. I really enjoyed spinning this up. This is superwash merino, so it's a very fine fiber. And I am, once I'm done plying, going to give this a soak in cold water before I give it a soak in hot water. Now, it's not going to felt because it's superwash. But with really fine fibers like this, it tends to hold like microscopic bits of the dye in between the fibers so that it bleeds really bad the first time you soak it. If it's hot water, you're going to open up the scales on the fibers and that water is going to be absorbed. The dye will be absorbed, reabsorbed. And so my pink could turn more orangey and my yellow can turn more orangey. It will kind of meet in the middle there. I don't want that to happen. So the first soak I'm going to do, I'm going to get that water in there and get all those microscopic bits of loose dye out, but I'm going to do it with cold water so that the fiber doesn't absorb the dye. It's a neat little tip I learned a few months ago, and I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to try it. After that, I'm going to take it out, let it kind of drip dry, and then I'll do it again, but with warm water in order to set the twist and all that good stuff. So, I'm happy. This is happy. You can't not be happy with this. It's beautiful. All right, so that was my spinning dye pot. I love dyeing fibers, especially when I get to dye a new colorway. Lately, my new colorways have been accidents, like Kennebec was, because I had done up 4 cups of the wrong dye, so that's how Kennebec happened. But other times, you just say, I wonder what these colors will go like together. And I have mixed varying success. But let me show you what I dyed this week. This will all be going in the shop update, which will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be the last update for the year. I am planning, hopefully, on dyeing a lot while I'm home. I'm going to bring all my dye pots and everything home with me. So hopefully when I come back from break, there will be another update happening right away. So you can spend all that Christmas money you guys get. So that's the plan anyway. Sorry, fiber in my nose. Okay. The fiber that I dyed this week is Falkland. So all of my fibers here are Falkland. I have 3, most of these. This is Bo Peep. This is pink and purple. And some almost undyed areas. This is an undyed area, but it's actually a very pale purple because when it was in the dye pot, I actually squished it so that little bits of color would bleed into those areas so that they wouldn't be really ecru colored, because the Falkland is a very, very bright white fiber compared to a lot of other ones, and I didn't want it to be like shockingly white, so I did squish the fiber around as much as I could. So this is Bo Peep. I have 3 of those, pinks and purples. This is Hope, which is black, navy blue, coral. This is like a salmony coral and kind of a winey rose. This is a colorway I've done before. This is Hope. I think this would look great as a barber pole 2-ply. 3 of these. Then I have, this is a new colorway. Oh, there's my heater. This didn't turn out quite like I wanted, but what can you do? This is called Old Appliances. It has that lovely chocolate, that almost red color. And then this green was supposed to be the avocado baby puke green, but it just didn't happen that way. It ended up being more spruce. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if the dye is just old or what, but it creates an interesting color effect, I think. It's almost kind of Christmassy, but what? Santa, reindeer, and I don't know. I'm calling it Old Appliances because that was what I intended to do. I wanted to do like the 70s appliance colors. But this green should have been avocado, not spruce. But then I got a reward for the paint of that one because this next one came out perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. This is called Storm Chaser, and you are not going to be able to see the very subtle, maybe you are, shifts in this color, but it's a very pale silvery gray, a very ultra pale light blue, kind of an aqua blue, and then there are some undyed areas as well. This is called Storm Chaser. This is the sky after the storm has rolled out and you get the back side of the front where the clouds are still interacting with each other. So, Storm Chaser. I love this colorway. I think it was very soothing and beautiful, and I think the subtle color changes would be really gorgeous. And I have 3 of those. Similar to Storm Chaser, one of the moving on to yarn. Very similar colorway that you have seen before is Sea Glass. This is on the Sugar Maple Sock base, 75% superwashable, 25% nylon. Starts out with blue and green, traditional sea glass colors, and then I blend what's left of the dye pots. Sorry, I have a hair on it. I can't get it out. There we go. And to create this bluish green colorway that's much paler, I go with it as well. So it really looks extreme here, but there's much more blending going on than you'd think. So that's Sea Glass. Also in Sugar Maple Sock is Heather's Dilemma. This is the one that was named because I couldn't figure out what to call it. It's wine, kind of a cobalt blue, and this really dusky bronzy gold patina color. I'm showing you this skein because I love the way that the colors interact. This is where the gold turns into the wine, and then when you turn it, this is where the wine turns into the blue, and it's where the colors meet and blend that I freaking love in this colorway. I mean, there's some areas that are a little bit lighter, some areas that are a little bit darker, and the blending is just gorgeous. So this is Heather's Dilemma. This is what I want to do into self-striping at some point if I ever get the chance. This is not self-striping, but someday. So then I dyed up 2 colorways of Silver Maple Sock. Hope, which is the same colorway we just saw a minute ago. It looks different because of the bamboo content, but it's black and navy blue and pink. It's more pink than rose in this colorway. And then that hot salmony coral. And then right down here where the blue is, I squished the navy blue into the undyed section, so it creates this pale sort of silvery bluish color. Hi, sorry about that. My camera had a hiccup. So that was Hope, and I have 3 of those. And then I have 6 of this one. This is the Classics, which is the colorway that I have done before, but it was scooped up so fast I think a lot of people probably didn't see it. It starts out with a very pale cream, which bleeds into kind of a silvery look, and then the silver leads into this silverish green, and then a green, or I should say greenish silver, and then there's a silvery green, and then that bleeds down into a lighter, brighter pink, and down into a dusky mauve. So it's very kind of English roses, but it's called the Classics, meant to reflect the covers of very old books that I have. So I have 6 of these. So yeah, and then the last thing I have is Boardwalk Roses in Bulky. This starts out with a very dark magenta, almost purple, kind of a hotter, more red magenta, kind of a dark, hot pink. And then it goes into this blue color here, a little pop of Boardwalk Brown, and then that same undyed cream spot. I have 2 of these. I do also have 2 more of the Kennebec colorway, but those are a reserve listing, so I'm not even going to show you those ones because that's just cruel. So that's what's in the dye pots this week. All right, let me move all this off of my lap because it's very, very warm. All right, processes. I don't have any for you this week. It's almost the end of the year, so I am getting ready to run my outright report so I can figure out, how much how much did I make? How much did I spend? Who are my best customers? I like to send them a little something at the end of the year. Um, and then I like to spend some time on number crunching and data review and goal setting to see where I want to go in the next year. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Growth. I don't know how I top last week's growth really, because last week's growth was amazing. Yep, I got nothing for growth. Does that leave grabby hands? Talked about Bitch and Becky's grabby hands last week. I don't even think I have a grabby hands for you. This is a total letdown episode. I could tell you more about the pendants that I'm making, I guess. I have made some more pendants. They're not finished yet. They're not going in this week's update. They will be ready eventually, but this is a lovely little, I got some fairy like scrapbook paper. So there's that one. Oh, and that one I dropped. And that one's glued to the thing, but it's a chicken and an egg. Somebody asked me to do one of her grandmother, and it looks kind of junky right now because it's still on the paper. I'm really... Okay, guys. I guess this is going to be the whole episode tonight. It's one of the shortest ones I've done, I think, since I stopped posting to YouTube. I hope everybody has the merriest of Christmases and happiest of holidays and longest of vacations. I am very thankful for all of you for sticking with me for another calendar year. I may or may not record next week. Unless I get a bunch of stuff done, it's going to be kind of like this, which is going to be kind of pointless. Although, I suppose I would have grabby hands for next week. So we'll have to see. I probably will be on the old webcam. I don't know if I'll take this one with me or not. Maybe I will. So we may or may not see you next week. But until I do see you again, happy spinning and knitting, and thanks for tuning in.